How much money do Americans need to be comfortable? I don't know, chat. Let's find out. Let's find out, chat.
The average American says they need to earn $233,000 a year.
$233,000 a year? Bro, what the fuck? I don't even think the American median household does not come close to this. I think the median household right now is like 60 to 75K a year or something like that. They don't come close to this shit. Oh.
Year to be financially comfortable. But in 2021, American workers on average made only $75,000.
This does not come close to this. I remember when this, like a few years ago, you could make 75K a year and be straight. Like you were balling with 75K like 4 or 5 years ago before COVID, you were fine. You could have a house. You could have a car. You were chilling. You were balling if you had something.
$1,203 annually.
Americans are sort of looking at how much money they would like to have to be financially secure, and that ends up being basically 3 times what the average income is in this country. And to be essentially wealthy or really successful, it's magnitudes above that.
72% of Americans said they weren't financially secure given their current finances.
God damn.
And more than a quarter of Americans said they'll likely never be financially secure.
That may seem small in retrospect, but this is a good amount of people. These are like millions upon millions of people that say they'll never be financially secure. And one of the main reasons is probably because you're either house poor or if you're in crippling debt. Or if you got credit card, debt up the ass. This is what happens, bro. Like you have stuff like this going on, running amok in your country. Shit is just so expensive. Wages have been stagnant. This happens. This is literally what happens. The American dream is dead. The American dream is dead. This is just a reality. The American dream was literally a Looney Tune fantasy sold to us as kids. And now we've grown up and this is what we have to face. Own nothing and be happy. It's basically what it is.
By the numbers, their debt is lower and their savings are higher coming out of the pandemic, but they're more anxious about what's going to happen next, if they have job stability, if they're going to be able to have secure retirement.
With well over half of Americans living paycheck to paycheck, many are failing.
Bro, 61% of Americans say they're living paycheck to paycheck. Fam, that's terrible. These are the same 61% thinking that they could buy a house and own a car and still be straight. Like, they're literally slaves to their rent payment. They're slaves to their mortgage. And they're slaves to their auto payments. Like, I'm telling you, the American dream is just a sold lie. Like, it's not realistic. It's not feasible. This is just sad. This is how many people fell for that type of shit. It's unfortunate.
To meet some of their modest financial goals.
There are actually millions of people struggling. It's not something that people want to talk about, but if you're in a place where your financial security feels super precarious, you're not alone. And it's not your fault.
So how did it become so difficult to be financially secure in America? And what can you do about it?
Can't do shit.
Let's do some budgeting. Americans working full-time earned a median monthly income of about $4,400 during the second quarter.
I'm telling you right now, this $4,400 does not mean anything. After they budget this out, let's say you budget that out with mortgage, you budget that out with your car, you budget that out with like food and whatnot, necessities, you're probably only left with like maybe $400 to $500 to your name. Like, for real, you're probably left with nothing, bro. $400 to $500, that's not even it's not a good rainy day fund. One small emergency and you're cooked, basically. Bro, you're cooked. You're literally cooked. One small emergency after you budget everything that you need, you're cooked. Like, that's what people don't understand. Like, this is not normal. This is not the normal way to live. Like, you're not even living anymore at this point. You're just surviving. All because you were born. Like, you were literally born, had no choice against your will, and you were brought into this economy, like, to survive. You have no choice. You were never given a choice. And even if you did have the choice, you said, yes, this is not a good choice. This is terrible. It's horrible.
Of 2023. The average worker takes home 75.2% of gross wages after taxes and benefits.
God, what is
shrinking the take-home pay to
what the
about
fuck is up with taxes?
$3,308. And that just isn't
They
enough to
take
cover
that
the
much
cost
out?
of living in America today.
Sad face is
The
crazy.
cost of healthcare, that has skyrocketed. The
Yeah.
cost of attending college has skyrocketed. The
Yeah.
cost of purchasing a home has skyrocketed.
Yeah.
But nowhere has
This is all the shit I've been saying, bro. Oh my god, thank you. Someone gets it. This is literally what I've been saying. All the people in the comment section talking about, bro, just get a better job, bro. Just do this, bro. Just do that. You don't understand. Like, I've been preaching this for a minute now. Everything has gone up. Literally everything has gone up. College has gone up. Housing has gone up. Groceries have gone up. Wages has stayed the same, by the way. You have a recipe for disaster when shit like this just goes up and up. Sooner or later, like, something has to give. It just doesn't make any sense. It doesn't.
anyone said wage growth is up 15%, right?
Take a look at some of the most essential
Wage growth has been
expenses for
stagnant
Americans.
for a while
The
now.
median monthly rent in the US is $2,029 as of June 2023. That amount already accounts for over 46% of the Americans' median pre-tax income. But
Damn.
most US agencies classify spending more than 30%
almost
of
half.
one's gross monthly income on rent as being rent-burdened. Meanwhile, the median mortgage payment for a 2,400 square foot house was $1,957 per month.
So about the same.
However, a common rule of thumb advises spending 28% or less of your pre.
That's just not. This number right here, that's just not happening. No way in hell that's happening. That needs to be like 50%. The way shit's looking right now, the way cost of living is, the way that's not happening. The way housing has gone up,
Pre-tax income
it's not a
and
realistic
mortgage
number.
payments.
Nowadays,
For the
at
median
least.
gross monthly earnings, that translates to just $1,232.
$1,200.
As we talk to households and talk to consumers out in the real world, especially those, say, under 40, housing is the big issue. You know, rent, mortgage. It is the biggest concern that people aren't going to be able to make the next payment.
Inflation is really hurting
Oh my
individuals
god.
having to.
Bro, look at the gas prices. It's just so funny to me. I remember looking at gas prices back then. It was like maybe $3.50 per gallon, and I thought it was expensive back then. Nowadays, it's just like almost $5 a gallon, bro. It's actually pretty sad. Remember one time I was down in Miami. I went to go fill up down there, bro. Never fucking again. Like, I'll make sure I fill up, you know, somewhere else before I go to Miami. Think about filling my car up ever again. Bro, I think for like 14 gallons, it was like $85, bro. Like, no joke, like $85. 85. And I was with my girl too, so I couldn't say anything. I just had to take it silently. You gotta take it silently. You gotta just take your L's in silence sometimes, bro. Just keep it moving. You go out to dinner, bro. You pay for the dinner, you pay for the movie ticket, and now you gotta go fill up gas and it costs you $85. You just spent like $190 in a single day, bro. Just take it out, bro. Just don't even say anything, bro. You just gotta accept it, nigga. Jeez. Yeah, I just gotta accept that shit, bro. Shit's just getting expensive, man.
Stability in their housing. And I think sometimes we underestimate that if you have uncertainty in your housing, it causes uncertainty everywhere.
Housing is also the reason why cities have become more difficult to afford. Americans said it would require more than $1 million in net worth to be financially comfortable in places like San Francisco, New York, and Southern California.
Nah, go ahead and add Florida to that list, boy. Go ahead and add Florida to that list right now, bro. I'm telling you, they're trying to be slick and not add Florida in. Miami's literally like the modern day Dubai. Like, you literally can't go to Miami with less than $300 to your name. Don't even think about it. Don't even think about going to Miami for. I see all these little snowbirdies coming down here to Miami and Florida and shit. Talk about, oh, I went to South Beach. Don't even think about coming down here. I'm tired of seeing you. I really am. I really am, bro. Because you guys come down here and you have no idea how bad the cost of living is. Like, you think shit is all rainbows and sunshine, shits and giggles? No, bro. It's expensive. And most of the time you guys come down here and you don't even have money. But then get surprised when the cost of living is so expensive. Oh, I want to move back up north now. I'm telling you, it's like modern day Dubai. Don't go to Miami with nothing less than $300 to your name and a Hellcat. Real talk. You got no Hellcat, if you got no Lamborghini Urus, no one is fucking with you. No, you're not pulling no biddies, bro. No huzz with that. Like, no one's paying attention to you, telling you all they got down there is OnlyFans models, Instagram models, motherfucking scammers, and fake influencers. And niggas trying to sell you some course. That's literally that. That's all there is in Miami. I'm telling you, if you're not making a certain amount, if you're not above a certain tax bracket, living in Miami, no one's fucking with you. They live in a whole different world down there. I don't even try to go down there. Like, everything's so superficial. Traffic's terrible. There's nothing positive about Miami. I don't even know why people even come down here.
This is why we've seen some migration or mobility around the country where some people say, I'm living in a high cost state like California or New York. We really want to sort of pack up and go to an area that's less expensive. And one of the ironies
I'm trying to get out
those
too.
places that were cheaper
I'm
before
right behind you.
are now becoming more expensive.
Americans spend on average $690.75 on food every month, according to the latest data from the Bureau of Labor Statistics. That amount is significantly higher than any of USDA's estimated grocery bills, including more generous and liberal food plans. At the out-of-pocket health expenditures that cost the average Americans $96.42 every month, and you get a total expense of $2,816.17 for renters, and $2,744.17 for homeowners. That amount already accounts for 85% of the median take-home pay for average American renters, and over 82% for an average homeowner. This is excluding other essential expenses like transportation, childcare, and debt payments.
Bro, did I not just say this? Bro, it's like I'm a fucking genie or something, or a wizard. Did I not just say this? Did I not just say you're going to be left with $400 to $500 to your name? I just said this a few minutes ago. You can go back and play the clip. I literally just said this. I know I'm not wasting my breath. Like, bro, what can you even do with $400 to $500? You can't do anything. You can't even save. Like, saving $500 a month, like, you're not prepared for anything. One small move, one wrong move, let's say you get into an accident, your car breaks down, or you have some sort of emergency. Like, this is why people are in credit card debt, because this amount a month is not enough for an emergency. Like, you have no choice but to put it on your credit card. It's just facts. You have no choice but to pull out a loan.
Americans are really struggling with just the increase of costs of living and food and housing. Utility bills have gone up. Car insurance just stay the same. Homeowners insurance has gone up. And how can they pay for them but also meet other goals that they have too?
Budgeting experts advise Americans to spend just 50% of their net income on essentials, 30% on wants, and 20% on savings or paying off debt.
We see that allocation shifting significantly where people are spending 75% of their take home just on needs, which leaves very little for wants and very little for saving for your financial future.
That's what I'm saying. Like, you're just working to work. You're just working to survive. You're not even living, bro. You're not even enjoying anything. Like, you literally have to work 24/7, bro, just to not get behind on bills and lose your house or possibly get your car repo. Like, this is not a proper way to live. I don't know at some point where Americans are actually going to stand up for themselves and do something about it, but I'm just sitting back and I got a fucking popcorn and I'm just eating away, watching this shit unfold because this is crazy. How long are you going to keep letting this happen for? You guys obviously like getting fucked over, apparently. I'm not talking to my viewers, but I'm talking about you, feel me? Like, majority of homeowners are just getting over, basically. Like, it's not a proper way to live, bro. I just don't see the point. This is like doomer. This is what makes doomers into doomers. Shit like this. These stats are terrible.
So depending upon where you live and of course your income, many Americans really cannot meet that target allocation.
So much of managing your financial life in America today is like drinking from a fire hose. Many households are not able to show up and impose a framework of their own design onto their finances. Many are still in this reactionary space where they're just trying to figure out how to make ends meet.
The Federal Reserve has implemented 11 interest rate hikes to combat inflation since March 2022. But more than a third of Americans said rising interest rates kept them from financial comfort.
higher interest rates really can stand in the way of affordability for many financial activities or decisions that people want to engage in, and home purchases is sort of at the top of that list.
Look at the person who was going to buy a house that was, let's say, $375,000 2 years ago. Their monthly payment would have been less than $2,000. Now it's about $3,400.
Bro, you see what I mean? Boomers are locked in. They're locked in, bro. Boomers were handed shit on a silver platter. That's what they don't understand. They were locked into interest rates. They were locked into a certain amount they had to pay for a mortgage. They never experienced some shit like this. The same house, old construction, by the way, back in God knows when they built that old piece of shit. The same thing, same house, old construction, same house today is more than what it would have been back then. A lot more. From $2,000 to $3,400 for the same house. Probably more problems, probably less maintenance kept up with. Not even new construction, by the way. It's a scam, bro. It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense at all. That's like if you went on Grailed and someone was reselling an item for like more than what they even got it for. That's like if they bought this jacket for like $150 and now they're selling it for $400, $500. Like, this is literally what that is. They're just spanking a label on their price label and telling you this is the price and this is what you got to buy it for. For something old and
it's the same house, right? The
The
only thing that has changed is the interest rate.
Purchasing a car is more expensive. It's more expensive to maintain a balance on a credit card with the new offers for a credit card, even for the best qualified.
The thing is, sorry if I'm pausing this shit a lot, but I just got a lot to get off my chest. The thing is, don't buy a new car, bro. You don't need a brand new car. You don't. You really don't. I don't know why people go out and put themselves in debt over a depreciating asset. You don't need a brand new 2022, 2024 car, bro. You don't. Like, I literally drive a 10-year-old car, 2015. I'm almost done paying that shit off, too. I could have been paid it off, but I'm almost done. But I'm able to afford it. That's the thing. Most of these people are buying cars, putting themselves 40, 50K in debt for a depreciating asset with high interest rates at that, and they can't even afford it. What's the point? Like, you're just digging yourself in a deeper hole. Like, it doesn't make any sense. People shit on, like, older cars, but honestly, like, if you really want to save money, just buy a beater with cash. There's nothing, like, embarrassing about that. My car takes me from A to B to C with no problems. The only thing I had to do was, for maintenance wise, minus the accidents, that was paid by insurance. So that's whatever. I didn't even have to really pay out of pocket for that. But for the most part, this car gave me no problems. All you got to do is just keep up with maintenance, do your oil changes, change your brake pads. Pretty much all I had to do, bro. Like, people shit on older cars, but it just doesn't make sense to put yourself in debt for something that you can't
Individual
afford.
being at 20.5%, and other people are paying closer to 30.
The cost of capital is going up very rapidly. And many of the kind of toeholds we saw for lower income households was because they were having access to credit and to home loans and to other things in a relatively flat economy where they still had a good job market. The ability to access credit, both for small businesses and for households, is getting much harder as the financial system becomes more risk averse in that space.
Credit is essential because Americans don't have the savings to cover big expenses. More than 40% of Americans blamed insufficient retirement funds or emergency savings as a reason for financial insecurity.
For a lot of people, just to feel subjectively feel financially
That's
better,
better.
they need some amount of savings. A lot of financial planners will say 3 months of your income.
I promise you right now, not more than 50% of Americans have 3 months worth of savings. I'm telling you. Like, your average American probably doesn't even have 3 months worth of savings. They just don't. Shit is just so expensive. I promise you, bro.
That's, for many people, so overwhelming that they can't even begin to think about it.
More than half of Americans today said they didn't have at least 3 months of emergency expenses
I'm not even going to say anything.
including 22% that said they had no emergency savings.
That's sad, though.
It doesn't take unemployment to really knock somebody out of whack with respect to their personal finances if they're among the many Americans who say they cannot afford a $1,000 emergency expense and to pay that from their savings.
The reality is, if expenses are
Imagine having a kid too
routinely
on top of
higher
that.
than your income, you are not going to be able to put away meaningful sums. There are many, many households who do the verb of saving. You see money go into their account all the time. It just doesn't stay there because they are routinely hit with a need to grab that
And
little
guess
bit of
what?
money
You're gonna have to
and use it
swipe
for
on your
some
credit
kind of
card if you
income
don't
shock
have
or
it.
unexpected expense or even expected expense.
36% of Americans said they had more credit card.
Is that not what I just said? It's like, bro, it's a cycle. It's a cycle, bro. If you don't have the funds to pay for your emergencies, you're gonna have to put it on your credit card. You got no choice. You got no choice. You have to. You literally have no choice. If you don't have the money for it, you have to put it on your credit card. These people don't have a choice, knowing that they may never ever be able to even pay their debt back or pay it off. But they still do it anyways because they have to survive. They have no choice but to use that to pay for their emergency.
Debt than emergency savings. According to Experian, an average American holds a debt balance of $96,003.
96, bro. Bro, I did not know it was this serious. You're telling me the average American is 6 figures in debt? Bro, I did not think it was that serious, bro. What are y'all putting on your credit cards, bro? Let me know. Why are we 6 figures in debt? Why are we 6 figures in debt, bro? What is going on? Why? How? This has to be with like auto loan. This has to be. Let me take that back. Yeah, I think it's possible for sure. It has to be auto loans. It has to be mortgage payments. It has to be shit like that. There's no way we're just average American is 100K in debt. This is what you get for being born, by the way.
$371.
This is what
Which
you
includes
get,
several loan
basically.
products like credit cards, auto loans, and mortgages.
Oh my
More than a
gosh.
quarter of Americans said debt was what kept them from financial security.
Debt is a way of channeling some of our financial resources, and that can be a very effective tool. Many of us are fans of credit cards that have rewards, for example, but if you're not paying that principal or debt off within the billing
Can't. It's gonna
cycle,
fuck your
that's
credit up
when
too,
those
bro.
double-digit percentage interest rates hit, and that can then exact a toll on the other aspects of your personal finances.
How do we properly address this so that people cannot be in the cycle of just focusing on paying debt and necessities, but can even think about transitioning to that other 20% and creating an emergency savings, which causes financial stability, or even saving for retirement, which is the goal of creating future financial stability in retirement?
The fact that many Americans are living in financial insecurity poses a big risk to the economy as a whole.
It does. Like, if you really think about it, if people can't afford certain things and if prices keep going up, people are going to be less inclined to buy shit. People are going to be less inclined to spend money because the economy runs on consumers. Like, there's no way that the economy could be running without consumers. It's just not possible. We are a consumer-based economy. Like, if look at what happens when stuff starts to get expensive, people don't buy stuff like they used to. Stores start closing down. Look at all these signs on this screenshot right here. Stores are closing down. Look at Target. Look what happened to some Targets. They had to close down because when times get tough, people either stop buying or they start stealing. So stores start to close down because of theft, or stores start to close down because no one's buying anything, or malls start to become empty. That's just how it is. It's fucked up, but it's the reality of it. Yeah, it is. And I don't know about you, chat, but the thing is, like, sooner or later, it's going to affect the higher ups. It's going to affect the elite. Because once, people stop buying things, it's going to start to affect them. Things are going to get so expensive. People aren't going to be buying as much. It's going to start to affect people that are higher up. It's eventually going to get there. So you can keep ignoring it all you want, but
The reason why we
it's a
measure
big problem.
and monitor very closely things like consumer confidence or consumer sentiment, because what populates those data points are everyday measurements like
Malls don't even look like that
inflation and the
anymore.
strength of the job market.
I think COVID really showed us that households, when they don't have a level of stability and security, are actually the primary foundation of whether the economy can be strong or not, because we are so based on consumer spending in this country.
Public policy can greatly improve Americans' chances of achieving financial
Biden,
security.
bro.
So, for example, Social Security
I think about it.
is the bedrock of most people's financial security in retirement. It's not the only source of their retirement income, but it keeps a lot of older people out of poverty. And we know that Social
Look at
Security
Gmail trying to
needs some
count her
reforms in order
bills
to
up.
maintain its same
Can't
level of
even get the
benefits.
fucking
And
money
then
out the
also
envelope.
anything we can do to make sure that employers are
Holy.
offering any kind of retirement savings opportunities, emergency savings opportunities at work, offering employees the ability to enroll in benefits, whether that's health insurance or insurance for life insurance or disability insurance. You know, employers are a key part of this too, and public policies play a big role in terms of what employers can offer and at what price they can afford it.
The household's willingness to work toward financial security is also important.
Ultimately, the answer here is that solutions have to be arrived at the macro level as well as the household level. And so at some level, we all need to try to own our own financial success by managing our money as well as we can across the range of areas like emergency savings and retirement.
Financial advisors say the first step is to have a clear goal.
What do you want to achieve personally? What do you want to achieve at work? When do you want to retire? What do you want to do for others? And write that down.
Do for others.
But the key to success comes down
You're
to
struggling. What
budget.
can you do for others?
Everyone should budget. What we say is it's not what you earn, it's what you keep.
What do you mean it's not? I'm not a financial advisor, so don't take advice from me, but I don't think budgeting is a big problem for people or Americans. I don't think that's a proper solution. Because I don't think we have a budgeting problem. I think we have a cost of living prices rising type of problem. Like, people don't spend a lot if times get worse. It just doesn't make sense. Like, how many Americans budget? I'm pretty sure I searched this up before in the past. I'm pretty sure it was like 88 or 89%. Yeah, it says right here, according to 2024, about 90% of Americans budget their money. It's been increasing since 2018. So what is she talking about? Combating this problem is not, a majority is not based on budgeting. It just doesn't make sense. Maybe these are personal solutions, which is fine. Again, I'm not a financial advisor, but it just doesn't make sense to me.
And so think about and have some transparency of where is your money going. And then make sure the budget that you have aligns with the goals that you wrote down. If you say you want to retire early, are you saving more to retire
early?
If you want to put your children through college, if you want to be debt free, are you paying more on your student loans? Are you paying more on your credit cards? So you're
paying more on your student loans, again, I'm not a financial advisor, but this is the type of advice that doesn't make sense to me, because if you're not able to afford certain things, if you're neck deep in credit card debt, yes, the smart thing to do is pay it down faster. But if you can't even save a certain amount of money, what makes you think people could afford to pay more on these type of things when they literally cannot? When people don't even have enough for a rainy day fund, they literally cannot even pay more down on these type of, debt requiring against them. It's not possible. You can't.
can be debt free. Make sure that your budget aligns with your
You don't have the money.
There are actually millions of people struggling. It's not something that people want to talk about, but if you're in a place,
don't worry, I'll talk about it. I could yap about this all day. I'll make it be known for everyone, because I guess no one likes talking about it. I don't know why it's like such a closeted idea. But chat, I know YouTube, I know y'all know I love talking about this shit. Like, I'm the biggest spokesperson on this. I got to be on YouTube, because people not talking about it doesn't make any sense. Like, we're just gonna sit there and keep taking it.
where your financial security feels super precarious, you're not alone. And it's not your fault.
Many
Whose
people
fault is it
who
then?
have really high income
Point them out,
obviously
please.
still feel
I'll put a stop to it.
So don't feel like this is your fault or something to do with the fact that your income isn't enough. You know, we all have to deal with this in different ways. And the most important thing you can do is just acknowledge that and deal with it and not try to avoid it.
Acknowledge that, deal with it, and not try. All I got from that was take it, and keep taking. That's what I got from that. You're getting fucked, you got fucked, and you keep getting fucked. That's literally what that is. Literally what that is. W video though, CNBC. I usually don't react to legacy media type of thing, but this was a W vid. I think it was recommended to me by like Osmond Gold or something like that. So shout out to bro. But yeah, leave your guys' thoughts below in the comment section. I appreciate y'all guys for subscribing to me. I think I'm at 1.85k subs, so I appreciate that a lot. Like, it means a lot to me. But yeah, that's pretty much all I want to talk about. So see y'all in the next one. Peace.